Hi traders, this is Ben from TradaMaker.com. In this video I'd like to provide a concise overview of how to use NinjaTrader 8. This video is a summary of my blog post over at TradaMaker.com, how to use NinjaTrader 8. In this blog post I provide a complete overview for somebody new to using NinjaTrader 8. It's designed to help somebody get up and running fast to use the platform. In this video I'll be covering a series of topics from this blog post, including how to download the program, how to install NinjaTrader, answer the question, can NinjaTrader be installed on a Mac, how to open a demo account, how to connect to a live data feed, how to open new charts, how to use indicators, how to use templates and workspaces, how to use the NinjaTrader chart trader functionality, how to use ATM strategies, and also how to use market replay. I'll provide a link in the description of this video below to this blog post. I'll also provide a series of timestamps for each of the topics discussed in this video. So let's get into it. Okay, so one of the first things you want to do if you don't already have the NinjaTrader software on your machine is download the software onto your PC. So the first thing you want to do is go to the NinjaTrader homepage. That's at ninjatrader.com. I'll provide the link in the description below, or you can go to my blog post under the same topic. You'll find a link there. Now on the homepage, you just want to go to the email field here and enter your email address in. Your email will then be validated. You want to select download, and then a pop-up window will appear and it will ask you, do you want free live market data? Now one of the nice things about NinjaTrader is the software is free to use in demo, and also they provide you with a free demo account valid for 2 weeks. So in this case we do want the live market data because we will be using a demo account in this demonstration. In the drop-down box, you will then be asked which asset class you want to be using, futures, forex, or cryptocurrencies. In this case, we want to be using futures, so we'll leave it as is, and enter your details in the fields. Okay. And submit your data. Now the live market data credentials will be sent to the email address you entered previously. You'll be then forwarded to the download page. So in the drop-down tab you want to select which version of NinjaTrader you want to be downloading. In this case we want NinjaTrader 8. Okay, and we want to select download, and you simply want to select where you want to be downloading the install file to. In this case, I'm going to just download it to my desktop. Okay, so once the NinjaTrader download is complete, you just want to find where the download file is located. Double click on the install file, and then the NinjaTrader install wizard will open up. You just want to follow the prompt, so next. You want to agree to the terms of service. And accept those, next again. Next you want to select where you want your NinjaTrader files installed to. Typically the default setting is recommended, so just next. And then you just want to install the files. So it might just take a few moments for NinjaTrader to install onto your machine. Okay, so once the setup's finished, just select finish. Okay, and then NinjaTrader will be basically set up and ready to go. You just want to locate your shortcut icons. For NinjaTrader 8 you'll have a standard version and you'll also have a 64-bit version. The 64-bit version is typically recommended for its better performance. Okay, so you're all set to go. NinjaTrader is installed on your PC. Okay, so a common question that gets asked is, can NinjaTrader be installed on a Mac? There's actually no piece of software, installation software produced by NinjaTrader that allows you to install NinjaTrader on your Mac. However, you do have two options if you wish to install NinjaTrader on your Mac machine, and that is either using a piece of virtual machine software or using Apple Boot Camp. Now, I've actually produced a detailed post that provides instructions for using either of these two methods over at TradaMaker.com under the post called Can NinjaTrader be installed on a Mac? I'll provide the link to this post in the description below, or you can head directly over to TradaMaker.com to find out more. Okay, so if you've already downloaded the NinjaTrader software, you would have already been provided with your free live data and demo account credentials. That demo account is valid for 2 weeks, after which time you'll need to renew your demo account. You'll get 2 demo accounts per email address, after which time you'll either need to use a new email address or sign up for a live NinjaTrader brokerage account where you'll get unlimited use of a demo account. Now, to sign up to a second demo account, you need to go to ninjatrader.com/free live data. I'll provide the link to this page in the description below so you can sign up for your second account. Okay, so once you have your new NinjaTrader demo account details, it's time to launch NinjaTrader. So launch the program off your desktop items, either NinjaTrader 8 or NinjaTrader 8 64-bit. Once the platform is launched, the first window you'll be presented with is your NinjaTrader control panel. In the top bar, you will see connections, so select that. In the drop-down box in the bottom right-hand corner, select Configure. Now, in the connections window that opens up, you want to scroll down in Available down to NinjaTrader Continuum, select that, and then select Add down in Configured. If you already have My NinjaTrader Continuum within that box, then you don't need to add, you just simply select that option. Now, in the Properties window, you'll have your credentials for that account. In the top field, you can change the name of your connection if you wish. I'm just going to leave it as is for now. You then want to add in your username and password details that were sent to your email address. In this case, I've already entered those in. And demo will be set by default. If you have a live brokerage account, the process is identical. You just enter your live details or your brokerage details in the same fields. You want to select OK. Then you want to return to your connections menu in your top bar, and you want to select that connection you just made. If you return to that drop-down menu, you'll see a yellow light on the left-hand side. That means it's connecting. Once it turns green, you'll be connected to your live data feed. There we go, it's now connected, so you're all ready to go. Okay, so once you have your new demo account details or your new brokerage account details connected to the NinjaTrader platform, the first thing you'll likely want to do is open up a new chart. So let's do that now. So in your control center, head up to the top bar and select the new menu, drop down to Chart. A new data series window will open up, and the first thing you want to do is select the instrument that you want to open up onto your new chart. Now, you can do this one of 2 ways. The first way is to type the instrument you want directly into the instrument field here, or you can use what is known as an instrument list. So an instrument list is a set of preset instruments. Depending on the market you want to be trading, provides a list of easily accessible instruments which you can quickly and easily select and open up. I've got full instructions on how to create an instrument list over at my blog at TradaMaker.com under the blog post how to use NinjaTrader 8 if you'd like to learn how to create an instrument list. So for this example, let's open up a instrument list I created earlier under Futures and the latest ES instrument. Okay, so once you've selected your instrument, a Properties window will populate on the right hand side of the data series window. In here you can customize your data series information relating to the chart you're just creating. I'll go over this window or the details within this window in a later section under Chart Properties and Customizations. If you'd like to learn more about that, you can refer to that section. There's also the option to select a template in the top right hand corner. I'll also go into how to create templates in a later section. So for now, we'll just select OK and leave everything as is, and then that will open up your new chart. Now, if you don't see your data populate straight away onto your new chart, go up to the top right hand corner of that new chart and select the Fixed Scale button, and then your data should populate on your chart. So there you go, you've got your new chart set up with your live data ready to go. Okay, so in this section I'd like to give a very quick overview of how to use NinjaTrader drawing tools. So there's two ways you can access the drawing tool menu within the charts. You can either right click anywhere on the chart and then drop down to drawing tools and your drawing tool menu will appear, or you can go to the top bar, go across to the pencil icon, left click and your drawing tool menu will drop down. So within your drawing tools within NinjaTrader charts, you have a whole selection of different drawing tools you can select from. So you can either select your drawing tool from the icon and description on the left hand side, or you can use the keyboard shortcuts on the right hand side. Now each of these tools can be used and their properties amended in a similar way. So to demonstrate how to use the drawing tools, I will use the line tool. So I'll left click on the line tool. So to place your tool on your chart, left click anywhere on the chart and then drag and extend away to draw your tool. Then left click again to confirm the placement of your tool. Now to change the properties of that tool, highlight your tool and then right click and a pop-up menu will appear. You can amend your tool from this pop drop down menu, or you can select properties to further configure your tool. In this properties window, you'll have a series of selections to amend the properties. So for example, if we wanted to change the line style of our tool, and select line drop down arrow and we can change the color, for example. So let's change the color. We can change the dash style, so let's change it to dash. Now if you'd like to save these set properties as a template, you can do so in your bottom right hand corner of this window. Select template and then save. Now you can either choose a unique name to save your template as, or if you'd like those properties to be saved as default so that each time you open up that tool, those properties appear, you can use default as your template name. So in this case, I'll save it as default. So I'll select save, and then I'll select OK. So then the next time I go to use my line tool, those same properties I selected will be saved as my default template. So there's a very brief overview of how to use the drawing tool function within NinjaTrader. Okay, so in this section I'd like to go over NinjaTrader chart properties and how to make customization to your chart. So NinjaTrader categorizes chart properties in two ways. The first relates to how the data displays on your chart, and the second relates to the general chart layout. So the first one I'd like to cover is how the data displays. So NinjaTrader categorizes chart data under a data series menu. So you can select your data series menu one of three ways. Either right click anywhere on your chart and select data series. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Control F, or in your top bar you can select the data series icon. Now your data series window is the same window you would have been presented with when you first opened up a new chart. So you can select your instrument from the drop down menu in the top left hand corner, and that will be added to your applied box. Now I've already got an instrument added in the selection. You can actually add more than one data series to a single chart in what is known as panels. I'll go into that in a little bit later on. On the right hand side of this data series window are your general properties, so where you can make your customizations to your data series. So the first thing you can choose to select is what's your price based on, so your last price, your ask price, or your bid price. The type of chart, so whether you want a tick chart, a volume chart, a range chart, or a time-based chart. The value or the unit for that chart, so for example 300 ticks or 60 minutes for example. The time frame you want to have displaying on your chart, so the amount of data you want to go back in time and when you want that data to stop. So for example in this case it defaults to 3 days. You can amend that as you wish. The end date, so when the data will stop, by default it's set to the current date. The trading hours, so for example you can choose to have an end of day break and your trading hours will relate to when that end of day break appears. How your data will display on your chart, so for example whether you want it to display as a candlestick chart, an open, high, low, close chart, or a line chart, etc. Some general customizations relating to that chart style, so colors, line widths, etc. Whether you want your data to auto scale in height or price relative to the time along the bottom of your chart. Whether you want your price to center on your left hand scale. Whether you want your chart data display in your data box. The label for your chart in your bottom left hand corner here in your tab. What panel these properties relate to. So earlier I discussed that you can add more than one instrument to a chart. So for example if we select another instrument, in this case we'll actually select the same instrument. We'll have a second instrument added in our applied box. So if we select apply, we will have now a second panel will appear on the same chart. So you can toggle between each of those panels depending on which one you want to have your customizations applying to. Some customizations relating to your price marker, whether your scale wants to be justified to your right, to the left of your chart, whether you want to have a trading hours line break appearing. Also some selections relating to how you want your trade executions displaying. So for example a buy or a sell trade executions, the colors of your arrows that will appear on your chart, and also whether you want those actually appearing on your chart or not. So whether you want the price and the marker appearing, simply the marker appearing, or whether you don't want those markers appearing at all on your chart. The second series of properties that can be customized within the NinjaTrader charts are the general chart setting properties. So to access the chart properties, this can be done again one of three ways. Either right click anywhere on the chart, scroll down to properties, or you can do the keyboard shortcut Control T, or on the top bar select the properties icon. In the properties pop-up window are all the customizations you'll need to amend the general chart layout properties. So under general you have some selections, so you can drag and drop properties from one chart to another by checking the allow the selection or drag and drop of chart series. You can have a selection for equally distant bar series, so for tick or volume charts which rely on volume or tick data, you can choose to have those bars directly adjacent one another. You have some selections for your font properties. You can select the width of your margin. You can choose to have your chart trader on or not on the right hand side. You can choose to have your date range showing on the top left hand corner. You can choose to have your scroll bar showing along the bottom of your chart. The name of your instrument as it shows in the bottom left hand tab. Whether you want to have an image in the background of your chart, so you can check the chart background image and select a file to have as a chart background. You can select the background color of your chart. You can select the crosshair labels colors, the inactive price markers colors, your text colors. You can also select some general line settings, so the axes of your chart, what color they'll be, and the size of those lines. The crosshair, your horizontal and vertical grid lines, what color your panel splitter will be, and also whether you want this chart window to always appear on top of all your other charts and control center windows, and whether or not you want to be showing your tab along the bottom of your chart. So that covers the major properties relating to setting up NinjaTrader charts. So NinjaTrader comes included with a quite comprehensive list of free indicators. To access these free indicators within NinjaTrader, you can do it one of three ways. So the first way is to go up to the top bar of your chart window and select the indicators icon. The second way is to right click anywhere on your chart window. In the pop-up window, scroll down to indicators. And then the third way is a keyboard shortcut by selecting Control-I. So let's select the indicators from the pop-up window to open up our indicators window. Within this window in the top left-hand corner, you'll find a full list of available indicators to load onto your chart. So scroll down and find the indicator you'd like to import. So in this case, let's select EMA, exponential moving average. In your configured box below, select Add, and this will drop the EMA or indicator down into that configured box and also populate the properties window on the right hand side of this box. So within that window you can amend and change the properties and parameters of the indicator as you wish, depending on your trading style and strategy. And then once you're happy with those parameters, you can select Apply to add the indicator to your chart. If you're still not happy with the indicator and how it looks, you can make additional changes. So for example, we can change our line style. So let's change our color. We can change to a dash line, for example. We can change the width. We'll preview that again. So once you're happy with your indicator, then you can select OK to exit out of your indicator window and back into your chart. You can add multiple indicators onto your chart by doing the same process, so by highlighting within your available window and then adding to your configured box. Also, if you find that an indicator you are looking for isn't available within your available box, there is the opportunity to import new indicators into NinjaTrader. I've got a full list of instructions on how to do this over at my blog post at TradaMaker.com. Under the blog post, how to use NinjaTrader 8, I'll provide a link in the description below to go directly to this section of my blog, so you can find out how to import free indicators that are available within the NinjaTrader community and also from third-party developers who produce indicators specifically for NinjaTrader. Okay, so templates and workspaces are a great way to save your preferred settings on a single chart or multiple charts on a single monitor or across multiple monitor setup. So the first thing I'll show you how to do is how to create a template. So once you've created your preferred setup on a single chart, right-click anywhere on that chart. On the pop-up menu, scroll into Templates and select Save As. Select the name of your new template and select Save. So now all your preferred settings for that single chart are now saved as a template. So now to create a workspace, you want to return to your control center and in a top bar, select Workspaces. Now you'll need to create a fresh workspace file from scratch. So in the drop-down menu, select New and select the name of your new workspace. Select OK. So within this new workspace, there'll be no charts or any sort of settings set up. So you'll need to create everything from scratch. So within your control center again, return to your top bar and select New and create a new chart just like we did previously. Select the instrument you like to use. Now you won't need to worry about your properties because we're going to be using templates to populate our newly created chart. So just select OK. And your new chart will be created. Now because we're using workspaces, we want to configure our new chart for a multiple chart setup on a single monitor, or you can do multiple charts over multiple monitors, whichever you prefer. So set up your chart configuration as you like. Within that new chart, right-click anywhere on the chart, scroll down to Templates, and select Load, and select your newly created template that we created previously, and select Load. And your new chart will populate with your preferred settings. Now to create a second chart on the same monitor, or a second chart across multiple monitors, right-click on the top bar, and select Duplicate Window, and this will create a second chart with the same configurations. Now if you prefer separate configurations to that first chart window, again right-click, scroll down to Templates in the pop-up menu, select Load, and select an alternative template setup, and again select Load. Now you have a new desktop configuration with multiple chart setups. To save your new workspace, return to your control center. In the top bar, select Workspaces. In your new workspace, select Save. And now your new workspace is set up, so the next time you log into NinjaTrader, you can return to your top bar, select Workspaces, and load your new workspace so all your preferred settings are set up, ready to go. Okay, so ChartTrader is one of the most user-friendly features of the NinjaTrader platform and is one of my favorite features of NinjaTrader. ChartTrader effectively allows you to add, amend and cancel orders directly on the chart through a graphical interface. So to access ChartTrader, go to the top bar of any chart and select the ChartTrader icon. In the drop-down menu, select ChartTrader. On the right-hand side of your chart will appear this panel. In the panel is a series of properties and parameters for entering and amending trades. So at the top is a series of menus relating to buy and selling at market, buying and selling at ask price, buying and selling at bid price, reversing trades, closing out trades. It also has displays for showing which instrument you're trading on, the time and force, so whether your trade is good for the current day, good till cancelled, or good to a specified date. It also shows you which account you're currently trading in, so whether you're trading in simulation or demo, or trading your live account. It also shows you the number of contracts that will be placed per trade, and it also shows you the ATM strategy that's currently in place. I'll go into ATM strategies in the next section. So you can either place a trade directly through this panel, but the method that I prefer is adding a trade directly onto the chart itself. So to add a trade directly onto the chart, you want to right-click in the appropriate place depending on the type of order you're wanting to place. So for example, if I want to place a sell limit order, I will right-click above current price. So I'll right-click. And once you right-click, a pop-up menu will appear. In the middle of that panel will appear a series of trade options that are available at that price. So there are 4 types of orders available within NinjaTrader. So the first is a limit order, a market if touched order, a stop market, or a stop limit order. So for this example, I want to be placing a sell limit order.
Order submitted.
So once I place my order, a graphical flag will appear at that price that I right-clicked, and in the flag will show the number of contracts, whether it's a sell or a buy order, and the type of order that it is. So to amend that order, you can simply click on the flag and drag it to your preferred price. And if you want to cancel that order, you simply click on the X on the right-hand side of the flag.
Order cancelled.
To cancel the order. Now you can also add multiple orders onto a single chart. So for example, if I want to set up an order with a
submitted.
stop loss, you can do so.
Order submitted.
And you can also add a take profit order once your price has been executed. This is, however, a clumsy way of adding multiple orders onto a chart. A better way to do it is to use an ATM strategy, and I'll cover that in the next section. Okay, so ATM strategies, or automatic trade management strategies, are another excellent feature of the NinjaTrader platform. ATM strategies effectively allow you to add multiple orders with a single click of a button. They also allow you to add automatic trailing stops or automatic break-even orders. To create an ATM strategy, the first thing you want to do is to go to the top bar of any chart and select the Chart Trader icon and select Chart Trader. Your Chart Trader panel will open up on your right hand side, and down the bottom of that panel you'll see ATM strategy. Now by default, no ATM strategy is selected, so to create one, select the drop down menu and select Custom. A custom strategy parameters window will open up, and within this window you'll have all the parameters you need to create your new ATM strategy. The first thing you'll notice is the order quantity, your time and force, and the units for your ATM strategy. Now by default it's set to ticks because I'm using a tick chart, but you also have a number of other options there if you wish. The next thing you'll notice are your fields and parameters for your basic ATM strategy. Now by default a single target is set, but if you'd like to have multiple targets you can also add additional targets. Now if you're going to have more than a single target with a single contract, you'll need to make sure that the sum of your targets matches the quantity of your order. So in this case you need to increase that by 1 to 2. The next field is the placement of your stop loss relative to your entry price. By default it's set to 1. Let's increase that to 5. And we'll have both profit targets having a stop loss at the same location at 5 ticks away from our entry price. The third field is our profit target, so the number of ticks away from our entry price we want to take profit. For the first target, let's set that to 8 ticks, and for the second target, let's set that to 12 ticks. The fourth field is a stop strategy. By default, that's set to none, but if you'd like to set a stop strategy, select the drop-down menu and select Custom. Inside the Custom Stop Strategy Parameters window, you'll have all the parameters you need to setting your automatic stop strategy, so an auto break even, an auto trail, or a simulated stop. If you'd like to find out more about how to use each of these parameters, you can go to my blog post at TradaMaker.com under the blog post How to Use NinjaTrader 8. I'll leave a link in the description below for that blog post. For now, let's just leave it at default at none. You also have the option to add more customization to your orders in the More field. Again, if you'd like to learn more about how to use each of these parameters, you can go to my blog post. Okay, so once you've got your ATM strategy set, you can then save it as a template, create a name for your template, select Save, and then select OK. Now back in your Chart Trader panel, you'll see our ATM strategy has been created. Now to demonstrate our new ATM strategy, we'll execute an order on our chart. So using our Chart Trader, I'm going to select a sell limit order.
Submitted.
Now you can see that only a single order has been placed with 2 contracts selling at limit. Now if I execute that order, you'll see our multiple orders will be placed. We have our stop loss placed at 6 ticks away from our initial order, and we have our targets placed 8 ticks and 12 ticks away from our initial order price. Okay, so that's how you set a basic ATM strategy in NinjaTrader. Okay, so NinjaTrader Market Replay is another excellent function built into the platform. It's particularly good for beginner traders and perfect for beginner traders who can't make it to the market open each day. It effectively allows traders to simulate a live market environment at a time that's convenient for them so they can practice and refine their strategies. To use market replay data, the first thing you're wanting to do is confirm that you have a live market data connection in place. So in your control center, go to the top bar and select connections and check that your connection is in place by having the green light next to your live connection. The next thing you want to do in that same top bar is select Tools and then drop down to Historical Data, and an Historical Data window will open up. In the bottom of that window, select the Load tab, and in the bottom of that window, select Get Market Replay Data by selecting the arrow. You want to select the instrument that you're wanting to download the market data for, and you want to select the date that you want the data for as well. Once you've done that, select Download, and your data will begin downloading. You can confirm this by in the bottom right-hand corner of that window, seeing Loading Data for the instrument that you're needing. Okay, so once your market replay data is downloaded, the next thing you want to do is exit out of that historical data window, and you want to disconnect from your live data feed and then reconnect to a playback connection. So in your control center, go up to your connections menu, scroll down to your live data connection and disconnect on the right hand side. Once that's disconnected, go back up to the connections window menu and select playback connection. A playback window will then pop up onto your screen, and within this playback window are all your functionalities for your market replay. So you select market replay in the top left hand corner, And then you have options for when you want your data to replay from the start and then when you want it to finish. So in this case, we selected the 5th of August and we'll finish it at the current date. Now along the bottom here, we have a play option and then a slider which controls your time. And then in the bottom right hand corner, we have the replay speed that we're going to use. So if we open up a new chart, we can select play, and then if I select the fixed scale, we get our new replay data on our chart. And if we'd like to play it at a faster speed, we can increase the replay speed. So there you can see the replay data is playing at 10 times speed. We take it back to normal speed. We can simulate a real market environment, and you can trade as you would normally in a live or simulated environment using live data.